full-time? Full-time. You're listening to Full-Time Daughter. It's a full-time job at this point.
Welcome back to another episode of Full-Time Daughter with
Isa
and Cailyn.
Another week.
Another episode.
And can I say something real quick?
Of course.
And can you guys just like take a minute to really take this all in? Take all of this in right now.
All in.
Don't we look so good today?
What?
She looks so good.
Herself.
I'm feeling myself a little bit today.
She's feeling herself.
A little bit, but then I see you and I'm like, girl, why'd you get all dressed up for me?
No. She walks into my house and she's like, you look so good. And I'm like,
she got ready for me.
I was like, I was not feeling it today, but like, thanks, so do you. Like,
I was like,
so
damn,
funny.
you look good. Yeah, well, I don't know. I tried to come up with a way that I could like transition into today's episode by saying like, but this did not come easily. this glow up,
where we're at now, took some time.
It took years.
It took
years.
Lots, actually.
It's like a mountain. And we're still like over here. We haven't reached our peak.
We're still kind of on that journey, that trek, because I don't even think we've reached.
No, we haven't peaked yet. You know what I mean? Yeah,
perfect.
We're still on this like upwards. Climb.
The trajectory.
Yeah. Anywho, today's episode is gonna be quite a vulnerable one because it's a bit exposing.
It is a bit exposing, but also like so much of what Full-Time Daughter is us talking about our experiences and also how behind and how anxious and how confused about like everything we are. And then
it's very tied into this this topic.
You know that like if you've seen the title, it's all about us being late bloomers in life and feeling like we didn't really get to where we are
at the same time as our peers, really.
Exactly.
So we kind of just wanted to give you guys some of our little stories, experiences. Yeah. I don't know if you guys will relate to this, but it's kind of going to be funny, but also a little bit exposing. And I feel a little vulnerable right now.
It's a little bit exposing, I'm not going to lie
to
you.
But you know what? It's okay because I don't know. I feel like where are the late bloomers at? Like, come on, step forward.
And like truly now, like looking back and sharing all the stories that we're going to share and also like our mindsets and how it kind of has switched from like this thing that used to be like, why am I so behind? And I feel weird and I feel kind of like I don't belong to like, there's things that I've learned from being a late bloomer.
Yeah, you kind of just get more comfortable with it,
and there's kind of like benefits to it.
Yeah. No, we'll get into it.
Yeah, like we're going to talk about it.
We'll get into it. But I just wanted to start by saying that it's so crazy that we met. And this was sort of the first thing we bonded over was like being late bloomers.
Wait, that is actually the first thing we talked about.
No, I know. And we were like, wait. And I just find it so crazy that like my best friend is like me. Like, oh my God, you guys, it's cannot begin to tell you because I have friends. I love them with my entire being. But they weren't late bloomers. And they weren't like, there's some things that some people will just not understand. Because you're not in their position or like they've never been in your position. So it's just like there's this like weird balance going on.
And it's like you understand their POV as well.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And like you're empathizing with them.
Yeah.
We both were in this class that we were kind of forced to take. It was like a mandatory class. And we both were like, oh, so you're also living at home. Yeah. You're also this age. Like we were very close in age. You're also like taking this class during the summertime and it's like something that we didn't even really want to be taking.
Then the conversations kind of went into like but this has never happened to you and
it was giving
you've never experienced that either and oh my God, when I tell you guys it was like because it was like what the heck,
like
it's
so started
crazy.
Like that was so not surface level.
No,
like
I know.
The conversations we were having,
there was nothing casual about us ever.
Like that trend, you know, on TikTok where everyone's like, nothing was casual with like my partner or whatever.
No.
He immediately told me blah 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 on like our first date.
It was like
that's how it was for us.
Literally us. Like it was never casual.
We like
between
see
us.
each other. We're like spilling all of our secrets. We're like, oh, so like you also at that point in your life didn't experience blah 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 blah, blah. It was so funny.
It's so beautiful. If I think about it, I will get emotional.
Yeah.
But late bloomers, let's get into it because let's not waste any more time.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we should start off with puberty.
Okay,
general.
puberty.
I think that really starts.
That's where we really were like molded.
No, it really is like when people get this idea and they start putting this belief in your head of like, oh, you're a woman now. Like once you get your period, you're a woman.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's start with this. How was puberty for you? If you had to describe it in like a few words or like a few sentences.
It was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of like not climactic.
Oh, okay.
For me, it wasn't very like crazy. And I was very much a late bloomer in this department. Like I would see all of my friends, they all started getting their periods in like middle school. Mm-hmm. And I actually have a story time from my friend when she first got her period.
Oh my
it was like
God.
During dance class, not to like expose my friend, like shout out to her. But my middle school bestie, she got her period one time during our dance class. And I remember like seeing it from this outside point of view of like that like franticness that you get when you stain yourself and you have to go and change into something. And I was like helping her change into my head. I was like, oh my God, like this hasn't happened to me yet. It was literally girlhood, but I was like, am I supposed to be like also having my period? Because everyone else in the class was like relating to this experience and they're like, no, it's okay, like that happens to all of us. And like everyone was kind of making her feel less afraid of like staining yourself or it being so public.
Oh my
and
God,
I was
this
like,
is so girlhood.
Literally, I was like empathizing also with her, but I was like not having that experience yet. So I was like, oh, I can't, like, I don't know what that feels like. And I'm sure you probably feel so exposed right now. But I remember thinking in my head, I'm like, also, does this make me like not a woman? Because so many people had that experience early on. I was just kind of like an outsider.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know how to like deal with that until it came probably at the beginning of my either very late middle school or very beginning of high school.
Wow.
So it was
pretty late.
Very late
compared
like,
to others, yeah.
Imagine you're like a freshman in high school and everyone's already, they've been doing this for I don't know how many years at this point, and they're like, here it comes again. And I'm here like, oh.
Never experienced
and being
it.
so confused because when it did happen, it was also very like not climactic. It was like in private in my house. I was like, oh, I guess this is like what everyone's talking about. And it wasn't
it's about time.
Like there wasn't anything that anyone ever told me that was like, oh, like beware. Yeah. Like you're going to experience this. And
yeah, no, you were already like a little bit older.
I was already older
else,
and I would experience it kind of
through
like
your
secondhand
friends.
Through my friends.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really expecting anything. So when it came, I was like, I mean, I guess like this is what I am now. I guess I have to go through this.
Wow. Okay.
Rite of passage.
I had a similar experience where I was like, wow, this was like girlhood. Like
really?
I think, well, because I think this is like the first time, like when I think of girlhood, a lot of memories can come up, but I think this was like the first time, now that I think about it, that I actually like I had never thought about it before, but now I'm like, wait, that might have been like the first time I actually felt like, you know, like that sort of like solidarity you feel with
like
women.
You're relatable. It's like we
understand each other. It was the first time. Well, yeah, okay. It was like the first time I got my period, and I wasn't like at home. Like it just came, you know. And I was at a pool party.
Oh, girl, the worst place.
The worst place. And I remember when we were little, for some reason, it was like not a flex to have your period as a kid. Mm-hmm. I was not a late bloomer puberty wise, like body wise, like nah, girl. They came in 4th grade, period came in like so early. Like, girl, I've been this way since I was little. In school, it was so like, it was an embarrassment to have your period. And it was like, ew, like, I don't know why it was so gross, but it was like, oh my God, there's something wrong with you. So
immaturity.
Yeah, like dirty. Bro, what?
No, literally
That's
immaturity
so
because you guys are children.
Literally,
they're just like, oh.
Bookmark that, please. We're going to get back to that. But at this party, I got my period. And I remember I was talking to these girls and everyone's like, oh, I don't have my period yet. Thank God, whatever. And they were like, ew, I think blah, blah, blah has her period. Like, talking shit, God, bro. It was so bad. Rumors. And I was here pretending that I didn't have my period because I was like, I don't want to be spoken about like this. Yeah. And then when we go inside to change, my friend was like, can I tell you something? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, I have my period. And I was like, I do too. And she was like, oh my God. And I remember she gave me a pad and I put it on after, and I was just like, oh my god, this was like girlhood. Like we just like opened up to each other about this, like even though all these girls are talking shit at the pool party. Anyway, and I just remember being like, wow. And then later on, when you went into like middle school, when all the girls started getting it, suddenly it was like a norm. Like, oh, I have my period. Like that, every other girl. Yeah. But before that, if you were an elementary school bloomer, like me, it was like such a, like, oh my God, like, ew, like weird. Back to the comment about being dirty. I don't even know like if anyone ever said that, if I ever heard that, but I think that's so foul and so gross.
No,
like,
that's actually probably the worst thing you could say. Yeah. Especially when you're so young and you have like no concept of really like who you are during this stage of life. Like you don't even really know.
And you're already what it so is. Like you're already so, I feel like when you're little, not that you're insecure, but I feel like you're learning so much about yourself. To hear outside perspectives of how your body should be or what that is, that's full immaturity. Like that's giving little boys, even though little boys are dirtier, they don't even wipe their butts. Like
and
they don't
smelly
even
ass armpits.
They literally have smelly ass armpits. They don't wipe their butts. Like they don't, and they don't clean their butts. Like it's so disgusting. No, like
it's and even still, like if anyone says anything like,
oh, like ill, you're on your period.
Yeah, like I'm like, no, apparently no one ever taught you how to like understand a woman and like her cycle, because it's giving immature. I'm like, how are you?
But I don't think I've ever met a man that's like weirded out by periods. They're like, oh, she's on her period.
Shouldn't be. That should be the norm, because it's giving weird. I'm like, why would you be? And from someone who doesn't even experience it themselves.
No, I know.
So that's why I'm like, you have like.
I don't think I've heard like a negative thing about periods since I've become an adult.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, puberty was so weird for me because I tried so hard to like not be growing into like my you know, my female figure, my womanly figure. And so I would like stack up like training bras and be flat. And I remember I did that for so many years until I finally got like proper bras, and I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna thank God that I'm short and I'm like a little bit skinny and I can just get away with this a little bit. And then I remember when I got to high school, you know, you're still kind of going through puberty. No, you totally are still going through puberty. I was going through puberty in high school.
That's like the peak of like that awkward.
It's so awkward.
Middle school where you're still very much awkward.
You're trying to like not be going through puberty, but you are going through puberty,
you're very much
so you look really weird. But I remember in high school, I was so like, when we'd have to change in gym class, I remember I would like take off my shirt, and I remember these girls be like, wait, oh my God, like you have big boobs. And I was like, okay, wait, but I hide it well. That was it. It's always been something that is pointed out to me.
Yeah.
And so I've always kind of resented that. But that's all.
Yeah, you unlocked a memory.
What did I do?
Changing in the fitting rooms for.
Okay, I also unlocked a memory while I was talking right now. So go ahead.
You say yours first. Because I was like the opposite of that experience, where I felt like very much just like not womanly, and like everyone else around me was very developed, and I was underdeveloped, and I still very much am like, I don't have anything. Like I don't.
Cailyn.
And I'm like, okay, itty bitty titty committee. Like that's how it's always been.
Yeah.
But I never really like viewed it as a bad thing, and I never had the experience of like wanting more than I had. I just kind of like learned to appreciate my body. But I remember like changing in the fitting rooms. I don't know if you guys remember, in like a couple episodes ago, I was talking about how I used to do PT instead of PE. I was like literally giving army.
It's like my favorite thing ever. It's literally my favorite thing ever. Like, guys, I wish I could pull up the footage.
No, I wish I had like footage of my
like live footage of Cailyn doing the friggin' PT.
PT. I just would like compare myself in that regard, because I was like, oh my God, everyone else was so much further ahead and their bodies looked so different than mine. And so I thought there was like something wrong with me. But I never had that experience of like, I need to be in a different body, or like I feel like this isn't the right one for me, because even though other people look different, I don't know, like I just felt like it suited me. I was like, there's no other body, like if I were to put something on me that like wasn't me, it wouldn't make sense.
That's so beautiful, though. That's so beautiful.
It's like weird to like think about like yourself at that age being like middle school as well, like in dance, like you would have to change, and
oh my god,
so much of it was fully like you're getting into tights, you're getting into leotards, like they like accentuate certain parts of your body.
I was so in my head about it, and
I would like hide in a corner and totally turn around.
Yeah, I would go in the bathroom.
People were so
I could not
free.
change. Yeah, like people would just take their clothes off.
Oh no,
and I'm like, oh.
I would fully turn around in like a tiny little corner. I don't want anyone perceiving me.
No, I know.
In this regard,
I was so scared of like body hair too.
Same.
That was something that like
the trauma
when I was little, and I don't know if like girls when you were little did this too. Like no girl in middle school, elementary, whatever, ever talked about body hair. Like ever. Like it was not spoken about.
Even spoke about like shaving too. And if
no
you were
one was like, oh fuck, I have to shave. Like I have to do an everything shower, y'all. Like literally from down there all the way to the fucking top of my head. I need to like
ever really spoke.
Remove all of this. No, ever. It was like a shameful thing. And I don't know why it was a shameful thing.
I think at that age, like you're just not mature enough. Like you don't understand anything.
That's so true. I don't understand.
It's like, why are you going to talk about something that like,
no, because I talk about it with like you, and I talk about it with all my girlfriends. So I'm like, oh fuck, I need to shave.
Yeah, no, it's like, but we say it now, so like casually.
Or like, no, I don't give a fuck. Like, no, like, or we're going to the beach and
we
I'm
say like anything.
Nah, whatever. Like, you see what you see, dude, and that's it. Before it was like mortifying. Like I would rather wear like fucking shorts to the beach than like have to show any sort of skin.
That's literally how it used to be when I was young too.
Yeah.
Anything, like I would just overthink and be like, oh my god, people are really like examining me.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know. I just think you're young and it's something that you're not
so true.
Informed or educated enough about. Oh my gosh, guys, another unlocked memory.
The little doctor book?
That little book that had like cartoon. It was like a puberty book.
Was it like a little girl that was like the character?
There was multiple girls. It would show you everything. It would show you like a training bra. It would show you like shaving. It would show like the stages of your body.
I remember a period diagram, but I don't know if we're talking about the same book.
No, it was like this book, and I remember it being in one of my classes back in like elementary school, and it was like forbidden, like because there was and it was all cartoons, like it was all presented in cartoon.
It was forbidden,
but it was actually like forbidden. Like we would all like peek at the page, but there was like
oh my god,
diagrams and stuff.
It was like secret.
And we would peek and we would feel like we were in the wrong for like
yeah, you were looking at something like
even though
bad.
It was supposed to be
informational.
Like you're supposed to be learning from that if like you don't talk about it with someone. But no, it was giving secret, forbidden. Like we felt I felt almost like dirty for looking because I felt like
dirty,
wrong,
inappropriate. Yeah,
I don't know why. But I'm glad we're not at that point in life where
I know
we can just speak freely about these things.
I was not a late bloomer physically. Like going through puberty was like I started really early on, but I think that mentally I was because I denied it for so long and I tried to hide it, and then also I don't know, I think it just kind of fucked with my head going into like really not even middle school, but like going into high school and just like I don't know, not really feeling totally comfortable in your body and then also in yourself. And then I always think of late bloomer when I think of my older self, like going into like teenage years and like early 20s, like that weird in between. I think of myself as like I had just a lack of experience in every department that was like confidence, sexuality, relationships, like professional life. Like I don't know, it just felt like I was late to the game and everything.
I still feel that way in so many.
Oh no, like we're still here. That's why we're still here. We're late bloomers. It's present tense. The last thing I remember of like my puberty experience was just my face. I always felt like my face was like contorting and morphing, and like I remember they would literally call me ugly. Like I'm not even yes, ask my sister, she will literally vouch for me that I'm not lying. It was like some family members that were like,
but that's like I think a Hispanic,
it's like definitely a Hispanic thing where they like,
it's like,
you know. And I was a girl that like I always did like the side part braid. My skin was weird.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to wear makeup. I had braces for years.
Yeah, me too.
I just like, it was so, like, I was such an ugly duckling.
I was fully in that stage too. But
We would be friends.
We would have been friends, I fear. I was fully wearing, like, I had to wear headgear to sleep. Like, I'm talking about the retainers. I had,
the headgear.
I fully have a school photo. I'm not even kidding, from elementary school. Because before braces, I had to wear, like, the spacers to, like, bring the teeth together.
Of course.
I've
never seen these photos before.
No, but like, what color of spacer did I choose?
Was it the same color?
No.
They were different colors.
Different colors.
Was it multicolored?
No. One solid color. Because it's like a retainer that you have to put top and bottom.
Was it purple?
Okay. Yes, purple was the bottom, though.
Okay, purple. And was it pink?
Yes! But hot pink.
Yeah,
it
hot
was
pink.
a hot pink, and you would see it, and it looked like a piece of gum on my upper mouth.
God.
So I have a school photo fully of, like, just me smiling. Bright ass hot pink. Like, it looks like I'm fully have, like, taffy on the roof of my mouth. And I used to go to school like that. And I would have a lisp too. And then at night I had to, like, attach headgear, like, to the rubber bands. Oh my god, that was another phase. Don't even
rubber bands is so humbling, bro.
Once I got the braces, I wasn't casual about that either. I wasn't casual about my braces ever.
No, yeah.
Like, they'd be like, so what color you want to do? You know, most people are gonna do, like, the least noticeable colors. No. Every month, like, for the holiday, I'd be like, oh, it's Valentine's Day, let's do red pink. Like,
no, like, I don't know why I did
had
that.
So much fun
such a kid
it.
thing. Because why? What was I even thinking?
No, but you know what? That's like the pinnacle of being
like, you have to. You have to like, customize your braces.
Why wouldn't you?
Romanticize those rubber bands. Those rubber bands were hell. But, like, I don't know, dude. I remember puberty for me, and I was like, oh, like, I had to go through that. Like, it was giving, like, I was in my cocoon, and now I'm a butterfly. Like, I am. Like, look at me.
Exactly.
And look at her too, you know? Like, we had to experience that really awkward stage. But I think that mentally I never left that stage, and I'm still a little bit there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about being a late bloomer when it comes to, like, relationships, dating, also relationship to, like, self, because I think a lot of it has to do with, like, what do I like? What am I into?
And
was that attractive?
It really does, like, affect you as, like, not having that experience of growing up and everyone around you in school having, like, a crush or being like interested in someone, dating, or having a prom date, or just, I feel like all of that, like, I would view it, and everyone was so casual and normal about, like, talking to guys and hanging out with guys, so casual and normal about it. And I couldn't talk to men. Like, I could not talk to a boy. I would freak out at the thought of, like, oh my god, a guy's speaking to me.
Yeah, no,
like,
I couldn't.
I couldn't speak to men.
I agree. I could not talk to men. I was so scared of it. And I also just couldn't get around, like, how, like, I couldn't understand how girls were so normal about, like, dating. And I remember I was so, like, innocent in high school, because I remember my first week of high school, we're sat down in this science class, and I'm hearing all these girls gossiping, and they're like, oh, her boyfriend showered with her, oh, her boyfriend, like, did this, oh my god, they slept together, oh my god. And my innocent ass was like, no, what? We're 14.
I fully was like that.
I could not, but I was literally like, I felt like I was like in a movie, because I was like, what the heck? Like,
what do you mean you
showering with your boyfriend? I wasn't judging, because I was like, this is crazy. Like, it was almost like, it's not judgment, because I wouldn't say that. I think it's just like a, whoa,
you're, like, just in shock. It was people are experiencing that at that age.
Yeah, and you're like, oh my god.
And about that too, like, when I would hear stuff like this, or, like, even rumors that were, like, crazy, and people hooking up.
Oh my god,
and, like,
the rumors in my school were fucking crazy.
Even if it's, like, in high school, and you think, like, okay, this is, like, that rite of passage, like, everyone has, like, that crazy group of people in their high school that's, like, they're out there and they're doing stuff, and you're like, oh, I would never judge either, but I always, in the back of my mind, was like, oh my god, like, and it was almost too, like, I was putting this idea of, like, not being allowed to do anything on myself. Like, no one ever told me or gave me guidelines when I was little of, like, you have to be home at this time. You cannot go ever, like, you can't ever go on a date. I was never explicitly told you can't date, you can't go out, you have to be home at this time. Like, it wasn't strict in that regard. I think I just self-imposed these regulations, and I don't know if it's that I saw my parents as like, they have like these expectations on me, like that I am putting on myself as well, but they never outright told me. I just was like, oh, I have to be like model child, like I have to be angel, I have to, like, I'm never gonna go against their word, because I felt like so bad, and I was like, I can't do that. I can't let them down.
I understand where you're coming from. I'm on the opposite end of that though, where I do think having a strict mom did really impact me, because you know, she grew up with really strict parents, and so I think that she knew, like, going into it what her parental, like, her parenting style rather was gonna be for me. But she was like kind of strict, and I think that it came from a place of protection, but also,
of course,
I think that being the oldest daughter is not easy, because it's like, I don't know, like, she was just overly protective sometimes, and I think that a lot of that, she was like, no, you can't wear that, or no, you can't go there, or no, and it was like sometimes I felt shame because of it, and like, I've talked about this with my mom, and she's like so sorry about it, because she's like, wow, I didn't realize what I was doing, but I got so much like shame, and almost like what you were saying, that you were like, you had to be the model child. I felt like if I went against her word, like if I did the opposite of what she said, it would be like the end of the world. And it's so crazy, because I see my sister, not that she's like contrarian or anything like that, but she just does whatever she wants. And I'm like, I wish at your age that I had that sort of like, it's giving Clara Bow by Taylor Swift, where it's like, I wish at your age I had that like
experience, and
that sort of just like bravery and like fearlessness and all that stuff. And I don't know, I just I wasn't like that. I was like so good. I was so scared to even like step out of line. And I don't know, I think that really stunted me, especially in high school. And then going into college that was the worst thing ever, because then you have all these people that are like so ahead, and I was not there. But you know, staying in the topic of like high school, I think that's where it really started, like thinking about relationships and dating, because you do interact with the same people for so many years, and like I don't know, it's like bound to come up like, oh my god, he likes you or she likes you, or you start meeting people, and I think that's the first time you were exposed, because I think when we were in middle school, it was like we were too little still, it was like not serious, even though like I like loved someone in middle school or whatever, like I had a big crush, you know. I just never thought it was like serious, like no one was like having sex, or no one was like hooking up or anything like that I knew of, you know. But then you get to high school, and it was like it was like an expectation almost. Like, what do you mean you've never dated anyone? What do you mean you've never kissed anyone? And I was like,
no, like you would tell people that, and it was like,
what? No, like it was like so like they would make fun of you.
No, you felt like some kind of oddity or something. Like it was like, okay, put me in a museum. Like, damn, I'm 20 something years old and I haven't had my first kiss.
It wasn't even that. It was like you were 14 years old, and they were like, like it was
so
the
true.
Worst
you're
thing
not
ever.
Even that age.
No, it was because like 20 whatever. Okay, maybe you're a little surprised, but you know, you're 14 years old, and like I'm sitting here in freshman year, and I was like, no, I've never kissed anyone. And they're like, what? Like that's so weird. And I'm like, dude, what can I say?
Yeah, and they're like, but what do you mean? Like you've just like never liked anyone? Is
but,
it
like,
because like you haven't put yourself
Cailyn,
out there?
My question is like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like I want to throw that back.
You're so young.
What do you mean? Because guys are just throwing themselves at me and like want to kiss me. Like that was never a thing. No. That was never a thing for me.
And I would never even willingly put myself in a situation where I was talking to a man. So where do you expect me to have this happen to me? Like I just was like, guys, like
I think I tried so hard in high school to get someone to like me. Like I didn't even care who it was. Like I was just like, please, I just want to be liked. I want to have a boyfriend. I want to be in high school and have like a little high school boyfriend. It never happened. Thank God, because honestly all those boys I was in high school with were not actually. There's this guy in high school. No, like low-key, I hope he sees this.
You're like, actually,
there was this guy that I went to high school with that I like still to this day I think he's so cute. He can be horrible. I wouldn't even know it because like I don't keep up with him. But I saw his Instagram not that long ago and I was like, he's like, still so cute. Yeah. I remember it was in high school where I found out that I was like so scared of intimacy. Like I was so scared because when I got a little bit older, it was like my junior year when, you know, I got a little bit of male attention. It wasn't like what I wanted, but I got a little bit. I realized like I was like, no, this is not what I want. Like I was even out here questioning my sexuality. Remember the story I told you guys about like my first dance that this guy wanted to kiss me and I was like, oh, I don't like boys or whatever. I was like so confused about it, and then I don't know when it happened that I remembered, or I just like accepted the fact that I was like scared of intimacy, and that's what it was. Like I always, like when guys would approach me, I'd be like no, or like we'd be really close and they'd be like, you want to go to like my car or whatever, and I'd be like, no thank you. Like girl, they were asking if you wanted to go hook up, like, and no, it was just I was so terrified of that closeness. And I think it's because it was so weird to me. I just couldn't fathom how we could just like hook up with each other. We could just like kiss each other. I don't even know you. You don't even know me. You don't even like me. Yeah. You're just like, oh, she's available and like willing.
No, that's like still how I am now.
No, like it's so weird to me. It's so weird to me. And then I think that just being like the only girl out of all of your girlfriends that just had never like kissed anyone, never dated anyone, slept with anyone, like did anything like that going into like my adult years, it was like embarrassing. Like you were like, oh my god, like, and it was almost like before, I don't know if you felt this way with like any of your girlfriends or like with anyone, that it was like an embarrassment and they almost like pitied you, or like it was like you'll get there, it'll happen.
Or like when they would share stories, they're like, they knew not to like ask you anything, and you just
like,
kind of
that's so
naturally
weird.
felt excluded because you're like, well, I don't have anything to provide or any like tips. I have like nothing. I have no story times.
I have no stories to provide.
I was like, I have no stories because, guys, I haven't even been kissed like at that age. And which I actually wanted to bring that up too, because people kind of expect, and I wonder why it is that like society expects so much of these like milestones or like these expectations of like a first kiss or being in your first relationship to happen young. Like, why is it that we're expected to experience that at such a young age?
I don't know, because the interesting thing is I think about little kids now and I'm like, I cannot imagine them kissing each other or like knowing about sex and stuff. It's like, I feel like a parent wanting to like protect their kid from, you know, an overexposure of like anything sexual or anything like that. And I'm thinking about it and I'm like, I could not imagine 7th grade me kissing these boys or anything like that. Like, I don't know. I was like, I'm just a kid, you know? And I don't know why it's this like thing of like, oh, why we should like kiss. We should have done it. I don't know why we felt like, oh my God, I'm so weird because I haven't done that.
Why?
Or because like, I don't know.
Like what
I think it's just society,
like,
dude.
oh
I think it's just like because you watch all these shows and these movies and read these books and everyone and their mother has like, it was when I was in middle school. It was Dear Darla.
Literally.
We kissed on this little boat
playground.
In the playground. Bitch.
But even like once I got older and like this is like post high school, like I went through all of my schooling years never letting my guard down, never speaking to a man. Like I'm talking to the point where I was giving very much like stereotypical movie nerd where it was like doesn't talk to a man. Like if you were to put me next to like one of the popular guys, I wouldn't speak. Like I'm not speaking to you. I'm going to be very quiet. I'm awkward. Like I never willingly put myself into a position where I was talking to a man unless you spoke to me first. It just like wasn't happening.
Yeah.
And I still kind of struggled with that, like, beginning of college. Like, I was like, I just don't like being perceived. I don't like being perceived by men at all.
That was a big one for me.
I don't want to talk to them. And, like, there was still kind of, like, a longing in me. Like, it was almost like, but, like, why don't you feel like you are capable of, like, speaking to a man or feeling like a man can like you. You know what I mean? Like, it was always this, like, cat and mouse game with myself where I was like, why not? Like, at some point you're gonna have to let your guard down and speak to a man if you expect, like, if you want to get into a relationship, that has to happen. But I did feel like proving something to myself in a way of, like, I can speak to a man.
I get you.
So until that point came, and I don't know, it was one magical day. This was like a magical day in college where I was like, and what if I just, like, say yes to a date? What if I just go on a date? Like, I had never done this before. I never had the experience of, like, a prom date or, like, that childhood friend that you had that, like, is a guy and he is, like, funny with you and you can just, like, experience these things with, and it's not very serious. Like, I never had that. So I had to, like, kind of force it on myself. I was like, okay, you're gonna have to go, like, you're gonna have to speak to men. So I kind of, like, dropped this, like, guard or, like, protectiveness that I had over myself, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna force myself to just, like, say yes to a date. And I think that's when I, like, found myself in a relationship, and I'm putting air quotes around this because I still do not think that I have the experience of saying that I was in a relationship. Like, when people bring it up, I'm like, yes and no. Like, I was in a relationship, but I don't refer to this part of my life as, like, an ex. Like, I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it wasn't the experience of, like,
what you think a relationship is,
or, like, what a relationship is supposed to be.
I get you.
So it was kind of, I think, more so me, like, letting my guard down and trying to, like, prove to myself that I'm like, wow, oh my god, like, someone actually likes me back and someone finds me pretty, and, like, that had never happened before. Oh, like, I'm finally letting my guard down. I'm, like, telling someone things that, like, I've never told anyone else before. So in that regard, like, there was relationship, like, tendencies where it's like you're opening up to someone, you feel comfortable with them, but it was never that, like, relationship experience. Up until that point, up until I got into that first relationship, I had never kissed anyone, which I'll tell you guys the story. It wasn't anything crazy. My first kiss story, I fully told him that it was my first kiss, which I know people are going to be like, why would you say that? Like, why would you expose yourself?
I think it's kind of cute. Like, if someone told me, like, oh, this is my first kiss, I'd be like, oh my god. Like, I'd be like, get your ass over here.
I was vulnerable enough to say it. I just thought it was, like, funny because it was, like, happening.
Very, very cool and brave, and you already know that. I feel that way about you.
No,
because, like, bold as bitch, like, being like, yeah, by the way, this is my first kiss, and you're, like, fully an adult, like, you're a baddie, bro.
Yeah, I was fully, so I had my first kiss at 21.
Baddie.
Because I found a journal entry, and I'm gonna read it because I took a picture of, like, the very bottom part. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but it started off saying, like, so I had my first kiss today.
My god, my cutie girl.
I was, like, at 21 years old, and, like, all this stuff, I'm, like, psychoanalyzing myself. I'm like, oh my god, I haven't had,
I mean,
like,
think about 21 is so young.
And now I, like, look back at it and I'm like, okay, I'm only 23 and still that's the only person. Like, that's the only person I've ever kissed, which is why I'm saying late bloomer.
The only lips you've locked with.
Literally, like, the only, yeah. And you're like, you're 23, like, you should have been kissing all the dudes out there at the club. Like,
no,
you should have
do not
kissed
kiss the
all
dudes
the frogs,
at the club.
You know, like, kissed all those frogs.
Kiss the girl on the couch.
No. The very end of the entry on the day that I had my first kiss says, I know I'll look back at this one day and be like, oh, my first kiss, how silly. But it's really comforting to know that we all get to experience similar emotions and feelings, some a little later than others, but all in our own timing. And I was like, you know, that's still how I feel. Not the tears.
Oh my god, I'm gonna
but
feel
that's like
literally,
like, so they fall to the floor.
Yeah.
That's, like, still how I very much feel, and I'm only 2 years older from that entry.
Oh my god.
But I was like, I know that in the future I'm gonna look back and be like, yeah, everything happens in our own timing. Like, why would you be afraid to just say, like, yeah, that was my first time doing that. That was my first experience. Like, who cares?
Who cares,
like,
dude?
Actually, who cares?
You gotta do everything once first, you know?
And it kind of, like, lightens the mood also.
Because I love it.
I don't know if, like, that very kind of, like, awkwardness that happens when you're, like, about to kiss someone, and it's like,
I love it.
There's, like, tension, you're just like staring at each other and it's like, oh, who's gonna like make the move?
I love it when it's a little less serious. Like,
right,
yo, what you trying to do right now?
Literally.
And it's crazy. Like, if you're just like, should we kiss
so
them?
should we? Like, that's what makes it funny. To be honest, like, now that I look back at the whole experience of like getting into that first relationship, a lot of it was the pressure. Like, from the beginning, I always was like, I was never fully in it. I had like one foot in, one foot out, which I know is so bad. Like, you should not be getting into anything that you're not like fully prepared to experience. I had also never experienced
That's what I was gonna
something.
say. How
So
are you to know?
I didn't have that experience, and I didn't really know what I was feeling, and I did feel like I was being loved at the time. Like, that's what it felt like. So I was like, okay, I have nothing to compare this to, really.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming this is what it's supposed to feel like. And if a man is asking you to be his girlfriend, like, I felt really bad being like, no, I don't think I'm ready for that yet.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like threw myself into it, which could have been a little like naive to like looking back on, like, I could have been naive at the time, but I also have to be gentle with myself and just be like, you
had
didn't
to
know
experience it to like learn, you know what I mean?
And like, even still now, even though that's like, I still don't have relationship experience per se, because that's the only thing I can like look back on and gain something from. Like, I still have lessons that I learned, but more so about myself. I still can't even fully like put into words or give advice based on a relationship that I was in, because it wasn't like, I don't have that concept in my head of that being a relationship, if that makes sense.
It does make sense to me.
It's like so odd to explain to people, because I'm like,
no, but
yes,
it fully
and no.
it fully makes sense to me. And do you know what I just thought of now that you said that was actually, like, I think about myself getting into relationships, and it's something that I've craved for a pretty long time, honestly. Like,
yeah,
like, I don't know, I just kind of want to enjoy someone's company, like, romantically.
and I think we all do.
Yeah,
you know, like, I think we all kind of like have that longing of
you want to be a lover girl.
You.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and like seeing you for who you are, and like
loving you, like,
despite
so
all everything, like, they still love you.
Girl, I'm gonna cry.
Like, say goodbye to some man.
Literally,
that's like
someone. Where you at?
good.
That's like good and normal and jacked and kind and sweet and normal.
It's
and breathes.
I don't know.
Anyway,
Not that we live for men,
no, we don't.
because we don't.
We don't. I think
But
we live for love, and we
You
just
live for that, yeah.
we just
And
want
to feel
to
seen.
experience it. We've never experienced it. But now that you were talking about that, I just remembered how being a late bloomer when it comes to like relationships and dating and all that stuff has done something to me psychologically,
fully,
where I will not
psychological.
believe that you like me. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you have to like hold my face and be like, I like you because of this, and then you have to say it like
List all the
20,000 times.
reasons.
List all the reasons. I actually want to know everything you're thinking, because I just like will not believe you. And I don't know what sort of self-sabotage, like, living in denial
fully what
person
is the
I am.
science, like?
But like, it's literally damaged me psychologically, where I'm just like, I don't believe you because it's never happened in the past, whatever. And I also think it's like weird that you like look at me and you're like, I'm into that. Or like you hear me talking, you're like,
no, but
I'm into that.
That's how I feel too. And that's how I felt all my life. Like, I'm still at like that.
I'm like, huh?
And why would you even think that about me?
What?
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? And then
It's
also
so weird.
like getting into like dating and relationships, I'm like, why would he want to date me or be my boyfriend? Like, I understand why I want to be your girlfriend or like whatever, but then it's not even a thing of like, oh, you lack self-esteem. It's genuinely like,
no, it's
I
just
want to know what you see in me. And I don't know if that's like an anxious, that's my anxiety coming forward and is like, I need to know everything as like a way to like control the situation or control me. Like, I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, girl, I don't know what it is. I just like will not. I need that like reassurance, and I don't know if that's like annoying to some people, but for me, I find it so comforting. Like, there's so much comfort in that reassurance, and I don't know, I'm like, am I words of affirmation?
No, we're
girly?
words of affirmation.
I think I am. Like, even though I know I'm pretty and I know I'm like, I have this confidence within myself, and like, I just have a confidence about who I am and my growth and all this stuff. But then it's like, you know, like, you want to hear that you're beautiful a little bit, or that you are, Like the way you make someone feel. And I also feel like with late bloomers, it's really awkward to like flirt or initiate any sort of like
oh my God, yeah,
stuff, because I'm like,
no, like I actually
you want to go first?
hate it. No, I hate it. Like I am not an initiator at all for anything in that regard. And I'm like, no. So the thing is, even if I like you and I think you're cute, I'm not doing that. I'm not making the first. Like,
I just get
you
really
have to start
nervous.
it. You have to let me know that you're into this.
No.
Because if
You
I'm like a damn fool of myself, absolutely, like no.
No.
Like you won't
I do
catch
not
me
chase, I
lacking.
attract.
That's exactly what it is. I'm like,
Ever since I saw this thing that said the egg does not chase the sperm. Ever since I heard that, I was like, bro, word, like that's literally real as fuck. Like
that's how I feel.
That is literally true.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
And I don't know, I just think that like when it comes to initiating anything, I suddenly become like never touched anyone in their life. Like I get so nervous.
It's not even like just with flirting. It's like in anything, like initiating, like even in like professional settings or with like jobs. I feel literally not capable. I'm like,
no, I know.
No, and if I say something and then people don't agree or like I make a fool of myself, like that's how I just think. And it's like,
I genuinely think
why.
we live in just like an anxiety-ridden brain. Like I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But in regards to late bloomers, where am I at now? I'll tell you where I'm at. I low-key love being a late bloomer a little bit, and I'll explain to you why. So there's a lot of experiences that my friends had, and not to like put them on blast right now, where they'll tell me that they experienced that when they were little, and I'm like, I would have hated that. And then I think about it like now, I'm like, okay, so everyone's got more experience.
You learn from others for yourself, for your own benefit.
You gotta go do some battles, do some side quests before you conquer, like,
for my sake.
until you come like defeat like Bowser. You know what I mean? Like you gotta do all those little missions before you go to Bowser's castle and get Peach. Like that's
like it doesn't just come like
no. So I think that I get a lot more confident because I just feel like now I'm not as embarrassed to be like, yeah, I've never had a boyfriend before. Yeah. Why? Because they're grab a pen and a paper and I'll tell you why. Like, or I've never wanted to.
Yeah.
I've never wanted to. Like, or I've never been interested in it like that. Like, I don't know. It's sort of this thing of like, I don't care anymore what people think. And sometimes I will admit it's like a little weird because you're like, oh, well, I can't relate to that. But like, period. But also, I don't know. I have a lot of comfort in like, it's just like not supposed to happen to me. And I think also I'm more comfortable because I'm a lot more confident in myself, in who I am. Dare I say my body? Like, dare I say just like my sexuality, my femininity? Like, I just embrace that a little bit more now. And I'm not so afraid of it. And like, I don't hide it.
Right.
And again, I'm just like constantly chasing this thing of like, I'm woman enough. Yeah. I am. And I can feel that way. And it's okay to feel that way. Even if I'm like 22 years old and I've never, you know, gone to space, orbited the moon, maybe fucking seen this like.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't know.
The timelines are non-existent. Like, I don't know.
Timelines are non-existent.
They're not.
Bro.
And also, they were created, like, we're still functioning off of, like, timelines that were self-imposed from, like, years ago.
Cailyn.
And that was a different life. Like, people were getting married and, like, being sent off into arranged marriages.
No, girl.
Like, we don't do that
No,
anymore.
girl. And I don't care about time anymore. Like, people be quantum leaping
literally,
these days.
like, it's not
like,
real.
I just sent my past self a thing that says break up with him, like, and that was me, bro. Like, bitch, people are like quantum leaping, like.
And also I feel like maturity comes from experience. It doesn't come from your age. Like, you learn so much from what you go through, and if that happens later in life, so be it, you know?
So be it. And like, who cares if you haven't done something? Like, why are you so concerned with my life? You know what I mean? And now I'm speaking to like you, like, if anyone's judging you or you feel embarrassed or anything, like, what do you have to be embarrassed about? Like, don't let other people's like expectations or standards like guide you. If you've never been in a relationship, you've never experienced like maybe you've never experienced like romance or hooking up, or maybe you're not like, I don't know, maybe your body doesn't look like all your friends or whatever, and you're trying to be like in a place where you're like okay with that, and you're, confident in that.
Yeah.
I don't know, like and maybe if you're listening, the younger folk or whatever, or maybe people our age, I don't know. I just feel like don't be so up here, like don't be so caught up in your head. You get to a point in your life where I just think you don't give a fuck anymore. You kind of just don't care.
Also, being like late bloomers, I think it helps us empathize with others in that regard, because we see in others like what we see in ourselves. Yeah, you know, just allows us to see people for who they are. Yeah, like I think in a more gentle way. Like I think there's like this purity almost to myself, and like still this like innocence, because I can see in other people like when they are experiencing something similar or they feel the same way, I'm like, I am you. Like I still am you.
I never participated in like hookup culture, and I still don't. Yeah. And there's no shame in it or anything like that. Like you do your thing, girl. But I think that sort of is the one thing that really does connect me to how I was when I was younger, of like, why am I scared of this? Like that to even be with someone, you know, like I want to know you. Yeah. I want to know you. And there's this episode with Penn Badgley of Call Her Daddy, where they ask him like, what do you think of casual relationships? And he's like, was it ever casual?
Was it ever casual?
Is it ever casual? And I cannot like I cannot emphasize that enough. Like, is it ever casual? It's not to be with someone or anything like that. Like, I hate that shit. So I'm glad that I've never changed my mind about that. Like, my standards still remain high to a degree. Yeah. And what I expect still is a lot. And I'm sorry,
and we settle for less. Being late bloomers, I think we settle for less because we know. Like, we've had to experience these things in the timing that they happened for us to realize, like, now we know what we want. We know what we deserve. And we're not going to let, like, the people pleaser tendencies get to us.
100%.
Or we just, like, we know now that that's, like, that time happened. Yeah. But you learn so much from it that it's, like.
And you learn from your own experiences. You learn from the people around you as well. Like, I think that's what's so amazing. I think that I've gotten a lot, especially from you. I've gotten so much of like, okay, yeah. So I don't know. I think it's just like, I like that we're both in a place where we're like okay with it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it would be this thing where people are like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Like, I've never or I don't like this, or it's never happened to me.
You shouldn't be.
Don't.
Like, what? There's literally no harm, and it doesn't affect anyone else's life.
It doesn't affect anyone's life. And also, if you're feeling any judgment from someone, they shouldn't be in your life.
Exactly.
Like, why are you letting someone judge you? That's evil work. Like, get out. Like, be you, do your own thing, and like, live by your own timeline. It's your life. No one else matters. Like, it's your life. It's your life. Yeah. You do you. And that's all.
Dropped bars.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say one thing that I think is very important to know. You can still be a loving, romantic, sexual, confident person and not be in a relationship.
I agree.
Or like, you can still be that way.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of the times, like, you'll feel insecure, or you'll feel like really in your head because you're like, oh my God, what must people think about me? But like, I've never been in a relationship, and I love romance.
Yeah. No, but exactly. Like, that's the hopeless romantics in us.
No. And I love it.
You don't need anyone else's validation to like prove your worth. No. That just because you haven't had that experience doesn't take away any like less or more of your
and
worth,
also,
you know?
I was reading my book today, and y'all should read this book. It's gonna be in my April faves. Okay, so follow Full-Time Daughter Pod on Instagram to make sure that you check it out. But one of the characters in the book was literally, she's a psychiatrist, and she is breaking down how everything is not black and white. Like, there is so many shades of gray, and so you can be single and whatever and still be the most romantic person ever. Yeah. You can be celibate and still feel sexual. You can be, dealing with body image issues and still love your body. Like, I don't know, valid. Like, there's things that can live at the same time. Yeah. And I was like, I loved that, because I was like, you're so real, because sometimes we live at extremes. Yeah. We think, because we're late bloomers,
like, we're only that, and everyone can see that. But I'm like, listening to this book, I was like, wait, no, we can be this in between. And it's all about like how we see it. It's no one else cares. Like, no one else is judging you. Yeah. You're judging yourself, and when you think people are judging you, that's just you placing judgment on them. Exactly.
of how they perceive you.
Like you have no idea what
exactly. So just live your life, do your thing. Like, who cares? Like, yeah, but enjoy spring. And shout out to all my late bloomers out there. Love y'all.
Do you see what we did, though? Do you see what we did? The cleverness of the title and, like, talking about being late bloomers in the middle of spring.
We're so cute.
And, like, flowers bloom.
You guys already knew that. You already knew we were so cute.
We're so clever and smart.
It's fine. Who want to ask us out? That's all for this week.
All we wanted to bring to the table today, which was a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it was a lot to unpack, but, like, I hope you guys...
we did this for your sake.
Relate a little bit.
Ours, you know?
For ours, yeah. Why not? I mean, if you were in my past, you knew. You were like, yeah, I knew that girl.
You were very much present.
You were, like, you saw it.
Struggle bus.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys want to keep up with us, please be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Full-Time Daughter Pod. Again, we're posting our monthly faves. I'm like, you guys don't want to miss it. It's gonna be so cute. And
book club's coming.
Book club girlies. Or anyone, actually. Hello. We are gonna be posting a video, so make sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss out on any of our episodes that we post or the book club discussion.
So be sure to follow, rate, and review the podcast.
You know what to do.
Share on the stories.
Comments.
The polls.
Do the polls. Comment. Tag us when you're listening, please. And make sure to follow us on Spotify, Apple. I don't know if you can do that. Like, I've seen the numbers going up, guys. Stop it. No, actually, don't stop it. Like, continue going. Share with your friends. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate y'all. And
yeah, we love you. And we'll see you in our next episode because
it's a full-time job at this point.
Yeah. We finally got it. We did not fuck that up. Kind of.
All right. Love you. This is for you.
Every episode.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.